Anyways, how are we doing? It's Monday, August 15th, 2022. We're coming off Victory Saturday, and today was the last open last training camp, basically, practice is what they call them for the Niners. And now they're going to do joint practices starting this week. They have a day off tomorrow, and they meet with Minnesota on Wednesday and Thursday for joint practices. And then they play the Vikings this weekend. So we got a second preseason game, but there's a lot of injuries. We've got to talk about it. Jimmie Ward was the biggest of them all. It's kind of a big deal. Jimmie Ward, the enforcer. He was just named to the NFL Top 100, number 96. First time in his NFL career, 9-year career, and he finally got named to the NFL Top 100. We can't afford to lose this guy. He's been so good this year in training camp, and we know how important he is to this defense. We can't afford to lose Jimmie Ward, so we'll talk about that. Let's get everybody in here. What's up, media? What's up, Lay? What's up, SF Niners for Life? What's up, everybody? How are we doing? We're going to break down these injuries. We're going to talk about everything you want to talk about today. Jimmie Ward, safety, the starting safety. He's the captain of the defense, a hell of a player. He's so good with his communication. He's a leader out there. Underrated. We all know Jimmie Ward is criminally underrated. Number 96 in the NFL Top 100. I think he should be higher than 96. But regardless, he did have an injury that he suffered. Kyle Shanahan this morning, when he addressed the media, he says that Jimmie Ward has a hamstring injury. It's a little bit more severe than they would hope for, and his status for Week 1 is in jeopardy. So, unfortunately, Jimmie Ward is, nursing a hamstring injury, and we have a lot of injuries right now, and they're all soft tissue injuries. We got a lot. I'm going to pull up the list of injuries that we have because it's kind of something you have to kind of keep an eye on, right? So, Kyle Shanahan said that Jimmie Ward suffered a fairly significant hamstring strain, and that his Week 1 availability is in doubt. So you have Tarvarius Moore, George Odom, and Dante Johnson, who are among the people that will fill in. So you have a couple of guys that can fill in, but obviously none of them are as good as Jimmie Ward, but we do have depth, and that's the good thing. They also said that they may have to sign someone this week just for depth, to make it through the next couple of weeks. And, of course, they had some roster cuts. But he did indicate that the team will bring in somebody at the safety position with the recent injury to Jimmie Ward. And Dante Johnson as well, because Dante Johnson has a rib injury, right? Dante Johnson has a rib injury, and Jimmie Ward, he has the hamstring strain. So you have to bring in a safety. I know a lot of people are probably wondering, maybe Leon O'Neal. Maybe they bring Leon O'Neal back. Who knows? But he did have an injury settlement, and he did have a groin strain. I don't know if he's going to be healthy enough. We'll see. I'm sure he's rehabbing. Leon O'Neal surely could be a guy that they bring in. He's been with the team all training camp. I would hope they bring back Leon O'Neal, right? 49ers media says, I think we signed Tavon Wilson or Ha Clinton Dinks. It could be somebody that the Niners are very familiar with. Again, they like to bring people that are familiar to the team. They know the defensive scheme. And also, they don't want to bring in people that have to relearn everything, you know what I mean? So if they have to relearn stuff as the season is pretty much underway, we just finished the first preseason game, it would be kind of a bad situation because they got to, go through figuring everything out on the defense, and then you can't just expect to teach a guy the whole playbook overnight. So that is kind of a big situation, and it sucks because we have a lot of injuries on the roster, and it's Week 1 of preseason that just got finished, right? Week 1 of preseason just finished. And here's some injuries we have. And these are strain injuries, soft tissue injuries. You got Dan Brunskill has a strain. We got Elijah Mitchell, hamstring strain. Emmanuel Mosley, Charvarius Ward, Jimmie Ward. All these guys have muscle strains. Kyle Shanahan did talk about it today, and I want to kind of address what he said. He said he's frustrated. He goes, it's nothing that should just happen. He said it doesn't just happen overnight, and it's not typical. These injuries are not typical, and we're getting a lot of strain injuries. These soft tissue injuries are not good. I'm bothered. Kyle Shanahan seemed bothered, right? It's just crazy how many injuries they have. Hassan Ridgeway also had a hamstring strain. So, Kyle Shanahan says, I think they've all come after days off. He says that the big number of muscle strains the club has experienced in a short period of time that it's a real challenge, and it is a challenge because you're trying to keep this roster steady and healthy, and then you get this crazy strain injury, and then players have to take time off. And these are minor injuries that could turn into a big injury. And the crazy thing is, because I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, fire the training staff, fire the training staff. They hired a whole new training staff after 2018 because they had a lot of injuries. Like, they put in a lot of money. They've invested in new trainers, new resources. So I don't know what to tell you. Shanahan thinks it's the practices. You know, they do have some crazy scheduling. They practice a lot of days and they're off for a few days and then they go back and then they travel a lot. Like, if you think about it, we had this game. Now we got to travel to Minnesota. We got to travel to Houston. Then we got to travel to Chicago. And you're traveling, you're practicing. It's tough. I know that they do stretch because I was at practice and I saw it firsthand. But I'm going to tell you my personal opinion as a physical therapist. I don't think they stretched enough. I mean, maybe they stretched behind the scenes when they weren't out. I don't think they stretched enough. They stretched. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they spent a lot of time stretching. Maybe they need to stretch more. And it's also hot out here in the Bay. Like California, where they train out there, it's hot. Every day at training camp, I was so exhausted from the heat. So I could only imagine the players out there grinding and training and whatever the case is. It's not ideal situation. The weather is hot. It sucks. It's hot and you're training, and I'm sure they're getting hydrated, but it's never enough. The muscles are going to cramp. The muscles are going to strain. And Kyle Shanahan has a very physical amount of practice. He has a very physical, way of how he gets these guys going. These guys are not playing pussyfoot. These guys are training their asses off, and it's not light. These practices are fucking intense, man. I'm sure they're getting a little banged up, but hopefully Jimmie Ward is okay. He might miss week 1, but I really hope he doesn't. Hamstring injuries can linger, and they could become worse if you rush them too fast. The hamstring could be about 4 weeks. It can be. It could be 2. It could be 4. It could be 6. But if you rush it back too early, that injury could turn into a longer injury and a very bad injury. And this sucks because Jimmie Ward, again, he just was ranked in the top 100. Shout out to Jimmy for that. He was on a contract year. This was a year where he was going to go out there and has a lot to prove, right? So I'm hoping that he's healthy, man. It sucks to see these injuries. So Workaholic says, question, do you think our roster will be healthy by week 1? And well, that's the question. A lot of these hamstring injuries take a few weeks. I think that we'll be relatively healthy. I think most of these guys, because they're being smart, they held out Charvarius Ward. They held out Elijah Mitchell. They held out Emmanuel Mosley, Hassan Ridgeway. All these guys are being held out. They're being very cautious with them. But hamstring strains do take some time, and if you rush them, they can get hurt for the long term. So they have to be very they have to be very careful. I do think that they should be healthy by week 1, but I don't think you're going to see a lot of these starters playing the next 2 weeks. I know Kyle said that week 3 preseason they're going to see a lot of starters or whatever because it's the dress rehearsal or whatever. I don't think so. I think right now you need to shut it down. Don't let them get risk for preseason injury. Don't let them risk any injuries for preseason. I can't handle it. If anybody gets seriously injured in preseason, I'm gonna be a little stressed out. Adrian says it's the top 100 curse. It might be, man. Let's hope not. Let's hope Jimmy's okay. You hate to see it because Jimmy's such a good dude, and I feel bad, man. Jimmy battled injuries through his whole career. Like, this is one of my favorite players because when he first came into the league, he battled injury after injury after injury, and people hated on Jimmy. I remember people hated on Jimmy. Oh, he's terrible. He's terrible. Blah 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 blah. He's glass. He's made of paper. But he battled. He fought adversity, and he played wherever they wanted him to. And then when he finally got healthy, he showed how good he was at safety, and he's such a critical part of this team. Just a good ass dude, good captain. And you see something like this to start the season, and you're kind of like, oh shit, let's hope he stays healthy. So he does have a history of injuries, but I think that he's going to be okay. I think they're going to be safe with it. And I think with these injuries right now, that they're being, okay, let's be careful. But it is worse than they thought. And it sucks because you don't want to see that to any player, but specifically to a captain and a good player like Jimmie Ward. So I hope that Jimmy gets healthy, man. My man, hey, Peter Parker. What up, faithful, on my last break, so able to tune in. Let's go, man. Glad to have you on. David says, do you think we'll sign someone for Jimmy's injury? Yes, David. We did mention that at the top, that Kyle Shanahan did hint. He kind of did say that they're looking into bring someone in. They made roster cuts. I'm going to get into that real quick. And they have 2 injuries at this slot corner spot. You have Dante Johnson, who has a rib, and then you also have Jimmie Ward with the hamstring strain. So I think they will bring in somebody. We did talk about maybe Leon O'Neal. I don't know. Who do you guys think the Niners would bring in if they bring in a player for safety? I think Leon O'Neal makes sense if he's healthy. He did get hurt, though. He did have the groin pull. So I don't know if you bring in an injured guy to replace an injured guy. You know what I mean? So it's tough. Leon O'Neal just had shitty luck. Just shitty luck. It sucks for him. This was a bad time injury. No injury is good, but this was the worst time you could have an injury for a guy like Leon O'Neal, an undrafted player who was trying to prove himself. So sucks for that. But let's get on to some other news, because there was another big topic today. I was kind of shocked. So my man Darqueze Dennard, 49ers nickel cornerback, was released today. The team released Darqueze Dennard. They have to make roster cuts. The first wave of roster cuts are due tomorrow. So the 49ers waste no time. They wasted absolutely no time, and they cut Darqueze Dennard. This was kind of surprising because he was the starting nickel in camp. He wasn't bad. He looked okay. But remember, I said Sam Womack, by midseason, at some point this season, would be starting nickel. Well, shit. They didn't even wait till midseason. Darqueze Dennard got released, and it looks like Sam Womack's season is upon us. Like, the rise of Sam Womack is here. They didn't waste any time. He had 2 interceptions, in his debut games. And Sam Womack was so impressive. We talked about him this weekend. How good was Sam Womack? Rookie debut, 2 interceptions on 2 passes thrown to him. Come on, man. Quit playing with the guy. The guy was so good. And I remember I said it. I sat here every day after training camp. The guy works hard. He's the first rookie out. He's one of the last guys out. I like Sam Womack. He's working. It looks like he's going to be the starting nickel cornerback. I'm impressed. It looks like Kyle Shanahan's this is a rookie. Kyle Shanahan giving this much respect to a rookie? Wow. So Darqueze Dennard was released, and it looks like Sam Womack is going to be the nickel cornerback. If you read the tea leaves, that's what it looks like. I don't think anybody else is going to be that nickel corner. Sam Womack is a dog, man. Love him. Got that dog in him. Right? The team also made some other moves, right? They released fullback Josh Hockett. He didn't get to make the roster. They also released wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson. He was the guy that went up and mossed the defender for the 2-point conversion. And they released Tomasi Lalili. Sorry if I butchered the name. Tomasi Lalili. They just signed him a couple weeks ago. He's a defensive lineman. He gone. He was a depth piece. Wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson, he gone. And fullback Josh Hockett, he gone. With the release of Tomasi on the D-line, it looks like Hassan Ridgeway should be back. And that's kind of what they've been signaling towards. He had the quad strain a couple weeks ago. It looks like Hassan Ridgeway will be back. So then they just cut Tomasi, And Keyshawn Johnson, unfortunate for him. He had a nice little play, nothing huge. They might bring him back for practice squad. Who knows? But those were the big roster cuts. They had to trim it down. And you lose Josh Hockett, Keyshawn Johnson, and Tomasi Lalile. I'm so butchering that name. I'm sorry. And then you have Darqueze Dennard was released as well. So that was kind of big news. Again, Sam Womack, man, this guy has become an absolute gem in the making. This guy might be another 5th-round gem. It's kind of impressive how they find these guys that nobody can find. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Let's get to some more of these questions. Angel Leon says, I appreciate the content grind. Hey, man, that's what we got to do. We grinding. I'm doing this full time for you guys. I love it. Trying to make this my life because I love it. And it's just so passionate about this team and covering this team. And I love it, man. I love it more than anything. So I appreciate you for that comment. David says, what are your thoughts on Robert Mdiche? I liked Robert in camp, right? I actually liked this guy in camp. He came in. He was a spark plug, a lot of energy. Every time training camp was there, you could tell when people were kind of dragging and the energy was down and the fans were kind of getting a little restless, he would come out, hype him up. He's an energy guy, high energy guy. And he wasn't bad, actually. He was pretty solid in camp. I liked what I saw out of him. and he flashed some potential. I think he has potential to make the roster. D line is deep, is deeper than Atlantis, but I like Robert Mdiche. He was a hype guy. You need a guy like that on the roster. You need a guy that can come out and just be, give you that energy boost. Sometimes you just start dragging. You need that energy guy. So I like Robert. I like it, man. My man Media says his celebration after a play reminds me of Dakota Watson. He does, and Dakota had that vibe too, that like hyphy vibe, man. And you need some guys like that. But he's actually not just a hype. He's actually pretty good. He's a veteran. I like the guy. He has talent. He's bounced around the league because of character issues, but he might have cleaned it up. Good dude. I hope he makes the roster. Right? Why now? 808 says morning. Good morning. Good afternoon over here. Eric says late, but here. Hey, better late than never, my man. Predict the depth chart for week 1. I will. I'm going to do a roster depth preview this week, probably. After week 2's preseason game, let's do a depth chart on Sunday, because Sunday there's no game, all right? It'll be the our post reactions of the game. I think that's what I'll do on Sunday's show. I will do a, recap of the game, and we'll do a roster prediction. How about we do a roster prediction show next Sunday? I want to do it. I need a lot of time to kind of break that down, and we still got to see some stuff for this weekend. So I think after the second week, I'll pretty much have a good grip of who's going to be on the team. I think I pretty much do right now, but, there's a lot of other things that we can kind of go into. So, Viva Los Niners. Jesus was good. Workaholic says Ray McLeod look good. I like Ray. I told you guys during preseason or during training camp, this guy's going to make you guys very excited. He's a slippery guy. He's good after the catch. He's just elusive. He's fast. Has to hold on to the ball a little bit better. I know he has fumble issues, but I like the guy. He has talent. He's going to be more than just a return man. Very good player. So, you think we'd take in 3 QBs this year? I really do. I like Brock Purdy. I think he's solid. You keep him on there, let him develop, let him learn as a rookie, absorb like a sponge. I think Brock Purdy's a very good young man. And Nate Sudfeld, you need to keep him because you need a veteran in that locker room. You need a veteran. So let's shift gears back to the Niners. So to these roster cuts. So let's make sure we covered it all. We did talk about Jimmie Ward and his hamstring strain. It is unfortunate. He may miss week 1. The 49ers have released Darqueze Dennard. That was surprising to me, but Sam Womack's season is upon us, right? And then the team also waived Josh Hockett, Keyshawn Johnson, and Tomasi Laulili. It's kind of a crazy day. Now, also, there was a practice today. I'm going to kind of pull up some tweets. So today was the final kind of regular camp practice again. Now they're going to be doing joint practices and bigger practices. They're going to be ramping it up, right? So apparently today, Trey Lance had a hell of a day. All the reporters are saying he was 11 of 14, and he had a big play to Debo, one-hand catch for a third down conversion. The last 2 days, it looks like Debo Samuel has just been in prime position. And I wish I would have seen this when I went to training camp, because Debo was still just getting worked into it. So this is a good side. Debo, for yesterday, they gave him a lot of run plays, according to all the tweets and the beat writers that are reporting on camp. And Cam Inman said today that, Debo had a one-handed catch. And Matt Mayoko even said that, not Matt Mayoko, but Matt Barrows said that Debo had an impressive day today, and that's what everybody's looking for. And Trey Lance had a good day. You do have to realize that there was a lot of injuries to the cornerback situation, so they didn't have guys like Charvarius Ward and Emmanuel Mosley and Jimmie Ward, obviously. But it's good that Trey Lance, he's probably getting a lot of work, and this is one of the things you have to realize now that these practices are ramping up, and it's just not like a regular training camp practice. They're going to give this Trey Lance a lot of reps in these practices. They're going to work on specific, plays. They're going to work on implementing the actual, big playbook. Because I think it was just a little bit of a vanilla playbook during training camp. They didn't open it all up. Now they're going to have specific installments. You're going to run certain plays for a specific team, because you got the film. You're grinding the film. What plays work against Minnesota? What plays work against this team? Now you're going to have even more preparation. So it gets even harder every week. Before they were just doing training camp and they're practicing plays, make sure guys are conditioned, practicing to go up against their own team. Now you have to practice to go up against another team. you're running different plays and different sets and different schemes. It's a lot more complex. So practice is getting tougher. And the biggest takeaway right now is Deebo Samuel is getting better. Practice is getting harder. Deebo is getting better. He's getting in shape, and that's what we talked about. You gotta love to hear it. And Deebo Samuel is getting back to where he needs to be. That's scary for the league, right? Another good news on training camp is Arik Armstead. He was there today. He's been working on the sideline. He's been ramping up his practice. He's running. Last week at training camp, he was doing some sideline stuff. He was running. He was hitting the dummies. And today it looks like he was doing just that. So Matt Barrows posted. Let's take a look. This is Arik Armstead going through drills there. Look at that, baby. Arik Armstead looking good, looking fine. That's big news. That's good. So we need that. We need our guys to get healthy. So Arik Armstead continues to get better. He was looking good last week in training camp, and he's continuing to get healthier. So it's good news. That is very good news to hear, because we get a lot of injury news, but we also want to hear that guys are getting healthier. These guys are going to get hurt. Unfortunately, it is a long season. It is a long season, and we're bound to get injuries. But let's just make sure that we don't get any serious injuries. That's the biggest thing. So what's up, Double XL? What's good? Workaholics says our defense is scary. It is. This is a great team. They just have to be healthy, because if they're not healthy, it won't be as scary. But we have great depth. Again, this is a team that has substantial depth, very good depth. All right, linebackers look good. Running backs look good. It's just a hell of a team. Hell of a team. And the rookies were absolutely dynamic. We have some phenomenal rookies. Come on, man. Look at these rookies that we have. Sam Womack, Danny Gray, man. Drake Jackson, he looked great. Spencer Burford, this guy starting at right guard, he was ragdolling people, bully ball. It's impressive what our rookies look like. It's impressive. Angel Leon says, do you agree with Smitty predicting on Danny Gray being wide receiver 2? Not anytime soon. We did talk about this. I know he's so excited about Danny, and I'm very excited about Danny. I think he's going to be a very good receiver, just not wide receiver 2 as the season starts. You know how Kyle is with these receivers. He got Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, and as we saw in these practice reports these last few days, they're building this offense around Deebo Samuel, as they should. Deebo is the key to this offense. He is the man that is the focus point. He's the straw that stirs the drink, man. It's Deebo's offense. And now you got Ayuk out there who's building such good chemistry with Trey Lance. Those are your guys. After that, Jennings, possession receiver, but can he build chemistry with Trey? It seems like they haven't really built that yet. Ray looks so good, but he hasn't had a lot of runs with the ones yet. But he looks good, right? And then Danny Gray, he's going to be open a lot. You got to guard Kittle. You got to guard Deebo. You got to guard Ayuk. Who's gonna guard Danny Gray? He's gonna be open. Against a third-string cornerback. We saw what happened this week. Burned him. So Danny Gray's gonna have a nice season. He's gonna have some SportsCenter highlights. But do I think he's a wide receiver 2? Not yet, unless there's an injury. But he will be slowly. Slowly we'll get there. That was impressive speed, man. Impressive speed. Absolutely impressive speed. Come on, man. Quit playing with Danny Gray. Quit playing with the guy. Did you see that? Just great. And the thing I love about Trey, like specifically on the play, like he knew he was going to be there. He knew in his mind. He goes, if he beats him off the line, I'm throwing that shit to him. It's going to be wide open, and I know exactly where to put it. Dropped it in the bucket. Pocket presence for Trey Lance. Chef's kiss. It was good. Pocket presence was so good. Goes through his progressions. I love it. 49ers media says, Evan Baker. We got to hit this. We got to hit this question, but I'm going to get to media's question. Who do you think makes the tight end room? Well, obviously George Kittle, the people's tight end. After that, I think Charlie Warner. Thankfully, he's back. Great blocker, underrated. I think he's there to help take some pressure off of Kittle in the blocking game. Let him open it up so he can, become a receiver a little bit more. And Ross Dwelly. I think those are your 3 tight ends. I don't think anybody else is wowing me enough to make the final roster. I know there was I know Tanner had that little tutty. He'll be practice squad. I think your 3 tight ends are Kittle, Warner, and Ross Dwelly. That's what I think. Evan Baker. Let's talk about what Evan Baker's saying. He goes, that was only a matter of time. Jimmie Ward is overrated and a piece of paper. And of course, another guy from the Chiefs that came here that's injury prone. Okay. So I don't know if he's saying that Jimmie Ward came from the Chiefs or Charvarius Ward, because we all know Jimmie Ward has never been on another team. So he must be talking about Charvarius Ward, that he's injury prone. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Jimmie Ward is not overrated. Definitely, these are what people said when he first started his career. He's made out of paper, but I'm telling you, man, these things happen because this team has had a lot of injuries. It's not just one player. There's a pattern. So something is going on with this team. I respect Jimmie Ward. He's a great player. He's a captain. And again, respect to Jimmie, man. He's battled through adversity. Not everybody likes Jimmie. There's people like my man Evan Baker that looks like they don't like Jimmie Ward, man. For whatever reason, he's gotten under Evan's skin. Jimmie Ward's gotten under your skin, man. He's a good player. Let's hope Jimmie Ward is healthy this year and has a Pro Bowl season. I need y'all to take this receipt. Go ahead and screenshot Evan Baker's comment. Save it. And then at the end of the year, if Jimmie Ward's Pro Bowler, we'll come back to it. Let's do that. Let's do that. Appreciate the enthusiasm, Evan. I appreciate the enthusiasm. If you're going to stick to a take, stick to a take, though. I love it. I love it, We'll see who's right at the end of the year. AG says, any news on Alfredo Gutierrez? Not really. He didn't do much in camp. He didn't really stick out. Well, he stuck out for bad reasons, not for good reasons. I don't really think Alfredo Gutierrez is going to make this team, unfortunately. I hate to say that. I mean, I know he's a guy that people really hope for. He's on that international developmental player contract. I don't know. He looks like a good player. He looks like, man, if you pick him out of a lineup to star in a movie, you're like, well, Alfredo Gutierrez, that's the guy. He's an offensive line. He looks like the guy. But not when he just looks stiff. He looks like a robot. He looks like a robot. That's Alfredo Gutierrez. He just doesn't move good. I don't know. There's not much to report on him. Angel says, if Ayuk ends up going crazy this year, do you think the Niners can pay him? Yeah, I think they'll pay him. I think they'll figure it out. They have a fifth-year option. Remember, he's a first-round pick. So they got some time with Ayuk, just like Bosa, fifth-year option, first-round pick. Ayuk was a first-round pick. They can use the fifth-round option and kind of move things around. If he has a big season this year, obviously he might need that extension. But I think they'll figure it out. They got Bosa. He's the priority. But I think they'll be able to pay Brandon Ayuk. Jimmie will be off the books this year. Whatever happens to him, he'll be off the books. And the other part of it is the fact that salary cap goes up next year. It's only going up every year. So, McCrary Ball. Oh, he was good. We talked about him this weekend. McCrary Ball was good. I think he's the future at linebacker. Even if he doesn't make the final roster and they practice squad him this year, he's a guy that's going to be a future good linebacker on the team. Because, Azeez and Dre Greenlaw, I've said this before, this weekend, one of those guys might be gone. Maybe both. They're in contract seasons. You can't afford everybody. Bosa's got to get paid. Ayuk maybe need to get paid. So then you got McCrary Ball. I think he's going to be the future. He was really good in training camp all day, every day. So, Swaggy, appreciate you. Adrian Torres, Aaron Banks, he was balling out of control this weekend. Good game. No pressures allowed. Castro Fields, he came on as of beginning of camp. He didn't really do much. He didn't stick out. But the last few days of training camp, Castro Fields was nice with it. I liked him. He got a lot of more opportunities. I think he earned it. So Roland says, appreciate the contact. Any plans on upgrading you? Yeah, we're working on it. Don't worry. I know it's not the greatest right now, but we got to keep grinding. Got to get the contract out, the content out. We will still improve it. I'm working on things. Got a MacBook coming. We ordered it. It's coming. Just be patient. I know right now it's not the greatest quality, but you got to put the content out. You got to put yourself out there before we make big moves. But we slowly grind them. I had to build the YouTube up. And as we keep growing, it'll get better and better. So appreciate the support right now. In the early stage, it's like construction phases. We going big time, though. I love you, man. Thanks for the support. Steven, what's good? What's up, everybody? We got 52 viewers, only 17 likes. Let's hit the like button. Let's smash the like button. AG says, I really want to get a Jimmie Ward jersey, but after that story he posted that he wants to test free agency, I'm unsure. Yeah, I love Jimmy. At the end of the day, he's gonna ball out. He wants to play hard, and maybe he gets a big contract because after this season, he's played 9 years. He may never get another contract ever. This might be the last chance for him to get a contract. If the Niners come with it and want to pay him money, he might sign. But if not, he's gonna go chase that contract. He's played 9 years in the league. Very disrespected. We got a guy in here in the comments, Evan Baker, disrespecting him. So Jimmie Ward's had to prove himself to many people over the years, and I mean, I wouldn't be mad at him if he has to get paid and go somewhere. I hope he does it because I love the guy. He's, again, such a good character. He's battled a lot of adversity, but they got young players. This team can draft very well. So if he leaves, I'll be heartbroken because I love Jimmie Ward, man. But if he leaves, I'll understand it. This is the last chance he'll ever have to cash in on his career before he hangs it up. And he has had a lot of injuries, so. Oh, man. Cam, we putting that work on YouTube. You know the vibes. When are you going to release some merch? We got a little bit, Sal. We got the Trey Lance merch. Go check out the team shop. I'm putting more merch out there. I got stickers. I got to order some more. Merch is coming. We got a little bit more in the works. Just take some time, so. Davis says he finally got the recognition that he got. Yeah, it's good that Jimmie Ward finally got some respect on his name. Even the Honey Badger said Jimmy is the most physical safety in the league. You gotta love. It was nice to see Jimmie Ward get recognition, man, because he never does. He never does. But it's really good to see a guy like that who's grinding. He's been a grinder his whole career. He finally getting respect, man. It's good to see. So I'm hoping that Jimmie Ward heals up, man. Prayers up to Jimmy. Let's hope he doesn't have a nasty injury that lingers all season. Let's hope he gets through it and doesn't have any setbacks. You know what I mean? So, have I thought about making a TikTok? I got a TikTok. Go follow us on RSF 49ers. I just forget to post on them. Actually, I blew up a couple years ago on TikTok, and then I stopped posting for 2 years. And then my engagement I got lost in the algorithm. But I do have a TikTok, RSF 49ers. We building all brands. My man says, are you full-time content creating now? Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm putting myself on every single platform I could get into when I have time. I do some healthcare on the side, but this is my main focus. So, RSV says, Raj, out of all of our paid guys, who do you think we will most likely lose when their contract is up? It's a good question. That's a good question. There's a lot. There's like at least 30 or 40 guys that are in a contract here. I think one of the linebackers, of course, Azeez Al-Shahir or Dre Greenlaw, those two guys, you can't keep them both. And they got McCrary Ball. Jimmie Ward, we just talked about it. I don't know if they're going to pay Jimmie Ward. He's going to be, 31? He's been in the league for 9 years. They might go younger. I know we want to keep Jimmy as a Niner for life. That's a guy that may not stay with the team. That's a guy that may not stay. Mike McGlinchey. How healthy is Mike McGlinchey going to be this year? He's already got knee irritation. This is something nobody's talking about. Mike McGlinchey this week is dealing with internal knee irritation. It's not good. That's not good. He's coming off a quad tear, and he's already having knee issues. I hope he can stay healthy. Mike McGlinchey's a great run blocker. This is, 50-year bag season. This is a big contract year. We know he should be out there putting in the work to get a big contract, but Mike McGlinchey's a guy they may be able to get rid of next year. And Jordan Mills looked okay. They can draft a tackle. I don't know. Maybe you can move Spencer Burford. Spencer Burford, that's the thing. Spencer Burford can play right guard, right tackle, left tackle. Only position he doesn't play is center. He can play every center, every tackle, and every guard position. The guy's versatile. So if Mike McGlinchey doesn't cut it, you put Burford at tackle. So, I don't know. It's tough. RSV says, with the rise of Sam Womack, do you think we let Eman or Brett walk after the season? Good question. I think you still want to keep Emmanuel Mosley if you can. He's going to cost a lot of money. If Emmanuel Mosley has a dog season, like an amazing Pro Bowl year, you may not be able to afford him. He's going to want some money. Problem with Eman is injuries. He's always had big injuries. So he might want to cash in and say, well, shit, I'm going to get big money. I'm going to cash in because he knows he's had those injury problems. So I think a guy like Eman is a guy you want to keep. But I feel that Jason Verrett, this might be the last year that we have him. I don't think we keep him. He's getting older, a lot of injuries. You want to go young. Sam Womack's definitely making a case to say, hey, I'm the future of this team. I'm the future of this team. Right now, nickel corner, but he can play outside. Sam Womack's a dog. He can play outside. But right now, he's going to get that nickel slot because you got Charvarius and E-Man. But that's actually a great point. Sam Womack's putting pressure on this whole secondary. He's the future. If he could play like he did on Saturday, obviously it's one game, his first game of his career. Obviously, it's too early to sit here and call him a Pro Bowler. He looked good. He looked good in training camp. Sorry, he looked good in training camp. Sam Womack, ladies and gentlemen, is an absolute gem, and he could be a guy that they say, okay, if he has a good rookie season, like strong enough to be like, whoa, he's a guy we want to keep for a long time. A build his secondary around. It's going to make it easier to get rid of a guy like E-Man. But I think ultimately they try to keep on to Emmanuel Moseley because he's a guy they developed. He was undrafted. This guy was undrafted out of Tennessee. Nobody knew who Emmanuel Moseley was, and now he's become one of our best players on the defense. He's that good. But if he has a Pro Bowl season, he's going to make it hard on the Niners to keep him. But I think Sam Womack is definitely going to make it hard. If he continues to play this good, he'll make it easier for them to release a guy like Emmanuel Moseley. And that's what they do. They develop their players. They draft well. It sucks. Sometimes they got to lose guys. Laken Tomlinson, we lost. K'Wan Williams, we lost. DJ Jones. But they got players that can step in. Speaking of K'Wan Williams, this is why I think they drafted Sam Womack. Sam Womack is your new K'Wan Williams. The Wombat. I like this. On Instagram, I posted Baby Shark, right? Baby Shark, because, K'Wan was the shark. And somebody says, nah, Raj, he's the Wombat. He's his own nickname. I like that shit. Sam Womack? That's the Wombat. He's Sam Womack. He's not Baby Shark. Although I kind of like Baby Shark. But he's the Wombat. Point is, he's his own guy. He's making his own name. That's why I like Sam Womack. Yo, what's up, Brian? What's good? You the man, too, man. Ambry Thomas, outside cornerback. Yeah, Steven, they got so many young cornerbacks that they've drafted over the years. So if someone has to leave, they got depth. Ambry Thomas, Diamador Lenore, Castro Fields, they got depth, baby. What? They got depth there. They got depth. Angel says, there's 60 of us in here. Everyone press the like button to help the algorithm. Hit that like button. We got 28 likes. Let's get that shit up to at least 40. Let's go, baby. Let's grind it up, man. Steven, what's up, my man? Long-time follower, Steven Reynolds. It's my boy, man. It's my dog for life. Sal says, Jordan Mason making the roster. I like Jordan Mason, man. I want him to make this team because I'll tell you what. If Jordan Mason gets cut or waived, the Seahawks will pick him up immediately, or the Rams. Immediately, Seahawks or Rams will pick him up so fast. So fast. Pete Carroll will be on the toilet chewing his gum. Jordan, we gotta get on the cut. We gotta get Jordan. Fumbling. Jordan Mason, you're signing with the Seahawks. You just got waived. You're signing with the Seahawks. I don't care. You're not waiting. We are signing you right now. Jordan Mason will get signed from another team so fast. They better keep that man. They better keep that man. Shout out to AG. Says, I look up to you, studying to be a PT like you, and I'm also a huge 49ers fan since Mike Nolan was the coach when I was 4 or 5. Yo, shout out to you, AG, man. Appreciate you. Shout out to everybody that says that. I've kind of inspired them. It's crazy. It really is humbling, and I appreciate the support. And every time someone says something like that, like it hits me, man. So shout out to you, AG. Studying to become a young PT, man. I like to hear it. If you ever need any advice, let me know. Hit me up, and we'll talk, man. So I love you, man. Brian says, I know Sermon is a third-round pick, but does he have it? I'm wondering that myself, Brian. I'm wondering that myself because he looked good in training camp. Obviously, it's one game, but this game, he didn't have Trent Williams. I know they didn't have the full O-line out there. He just didn't look fast. I don't know. Was it me? Was it me? He just didn't look like he had the burst. TDP looked better. Jordan Mason looked better. Even Jermichael Hasty looked better. I don't know. I like Trey Sermon. I really do. I really want this guy to be something. He just doesn't look like he has the speed. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Trey Sermon, if you're listening, turn it up, baby. Prove me wrong. I don't know. Prove me wrong. Hasty looks fast. I know, and I'm not even the. You know me. You know me and Hasty. We got this. I'm not a big Hasty guy. He's a preseason warrior. Again, JaMychal Hasty knows when to turn it up. He knows when he has to turn it up. The guy's the best preseason player of all time in the 49ers. Like, he's literally, if you look at preseason Hall of Fame, if you want to make a Hall of Fame list of 49ers preseason players, JaMychal Hasty's on that list. When it's all said and done, if we make we should do this one day. We should do this one. This is a great exercise. Holy shit. We need to do a preseason Hall of Fame 49ers edition. I swear to God, JaMychal Hasty is a Hall of Fame preseason player. He knows when to turn it up. He always looks good in the preseason. And the regular season comes, what the hell happened to this man? What the hell happened? Quit playing with me, JaMychal. He looks so bad in the regular season. I don't know what it is. that's the truth. But I think we should do a preseason Warrior Hall of Fame list. Let's do it this week. Let's do it. What's up, 49ers throwback, man? Sad Niner fans says somehow, some way, Hasty's going to be the third down. That's what I'm saying. Somehow, he's going to prove it. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Or maybe he's a sheep in wolf's clothing because he's a true sheep. I'm telling you, he's going to come in there. He looks so good. The announcers, oh, he runs like he has his hair on fire. Every time I'm like, okay. And then he looks so good in the preseason. You got these people hyping him up. JaMychal looks so good. And then regular season comes. Do you ever go live with the fans? I do, every once in a while, but not always. Eventually on YouTube, my goal is to get a call-in and have you guys call in and do like some weekly kind of thing like that. So I'm working on certain things. I want to bring the fans a little bit more, involved into it, but not too much, because sometimes you do get those trolls out there. So I go live with the fans. I go live with the followers. We do it on Instagram every once in a while. Not a lot though, because you can't trust everybody. It's unfortunate. I try to do as much as I can, but me and Smitty, of course, me and Smitty do it. Me and C-Mac, the quad box. I'm probably the first one that went live with people like other people on Instagram. Like I'm a pioneer. At the end of the day, man, a lot of people have done what I've done because they saw me do it. They're like, if that fool can do it, I know I can. So. Jordan says, hello, hope everything is well with you and your family. What are your thoughts about Lance's throwing motion? Thank you, Jordan. I'm doing well. It was my daughter's birthday yesterday, so family's doing good. I know people are going to scrutinize Trey Lance, his throwing motion. Everybody's different. Every quarterback's different. As long as he can get the ball where it needs to be, as long as they're winning games, as long as he, is accurate for the most part. Like, look at Josh Allen, scrutinized his early career. Peyton Manning, scrutinized. The wobble. Everybody talks about the wobble. But Trey Lance, man, look at that pass to Danny Gray. Dropped it in the bucket. Who cares how he throws it? He got it to him. Dropped it in the bucket, man. Dropped it in the bucket. The guy has a cannon. You also got to remember last year he was playing with a broken finger. He talked about it a lot. He had to learn how to grip. If you listen to Peter King interview yesterday, check it out. He talked about how he had to learn how to re-grip the ball, and it changed. So I think last year maybe his throwing motion wasn't as normal as it usually is, and then this offseason he had to kind of relearn how to grip. So it might be a little different than what it was last year. But he throws a beautiful ball. And the biggest key to me for a quarterback is how's their pocket presence? How are they able to go through their transition? How do they read the defense? If you get the ball to where it needs to be, I don't care how you throw the ball. But he reads the defense. He scans the field. He knows how to go through his progressions. And he has excellent pocket awareness. And those are the things that stand out to me the most. I don't care if he throws the ball weird. Some people say he does, but I love the guy. Dropped it in a bucket to Danny Gray. That's all that matters to me. So, Sal says, Hasty is like the opposite of a Sour Pouch Kid. First he's sweet, then he's sour. Oh, he violated him. Oh, man. Arvin, how's your Niner cave coming along? it's a work in progress. I got so much stuff, I just don't really have a place to put it up. When I move, eventually, I'm moving out of this place. I'm going to have a designated area for my Niner cave. So, work in progress. Oh, man, that was it for today, I think. Any last minute questions? I think we covered everything. The injuries, Jimmie Ward, hope he gets better. Roster cuts. We got practice against the Vikings this week, Wednesday and Thursday. Joint practice. I'll be live on Instagram a little later. Hey, Peter Parker says, you saw it against Seattle last year. Trey has elite pocket presence. Exactly. When he tucks it and runs and he's able to, you know, make this offense so much dynamic because of his legs, and he's going to get better at making that decision of when to do it. You know, I saw it in training camp. He was starting to get a little comfortable rolling out. The defense was crashing in, and he was still able to make that pass. He's just so good, pocket presence. That play where he slid against Green Bay the other night, pocket presence was nice. He knew he had to run, and he slid. I love that he learned how to slide. I love that he learned how to slide. Elite pocket presence. I'm absolutely in agreeance. Hey, Peter Parker. So, good show. Thank you, Red. Keep supporting me, man. We got to keep doing this every single day. We going live during the season, no matter what. We grinding, putting out the content. I love you guys. Hit the like. Look at that. 42. We got 40 likes. Can we get 42? Give me 2 more likes. Let's go, man. Run it up. I love you guys so much. Keep it coming. We keeping the content. Last thing I want to say, did y'all see that report? Something I told you guys earlier in the offseason with the quad box. Jimmy Garoppolo ghosted. Did you hear he ghosted the team after he got his contract? George Kittle he used to joke, Jimmy don't answer his phone. It wasn't a joke, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about that tomorrow and on Instagram later with the quad box. Smitty, C-Mac, and Vlad. We're going to go live later on Instagram, and we're going to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo ghosting the Niners. That's the topic for tonight. Stay tuned. Be there. You see that? We talk about one thing on YouTube, and we can bring up a whole nother topic on Instagram because we crushing the content. I love you. Hit the like button. Look at that, 45 likes. You guys are so appreciated. Have a good rest of your day. Tonight, Instagram, Smitty, Quad Box. We're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo ghosting the Niners. I love you. Have a good night.